Hey everyone, and thanks for jumping back into what the hell just happened, right? I mean, I was actually doing a premium video during the move, and it was crazy, right? It was crazy because I was watching it unfold live. I was staring at the chart, and I saw it go from like 35K to like 40K in like a few minutes. Like it was insane. But anyways, right? I mean, anyways, it goes to show how quickly market sentiment can change, right? We still have a ways to go here, but I mean, we certainly took out a bit of ground. Um, yeah. Someone says V-shaped recovery. I found the V that I think I found the V that everyone's talking about. They must have been talking about this V. Is this? This is the V. Is that the V? Maybe this is the V they were talking about. Um, but anyways, yeah, it's been one hell of a move for sure, and um, ultimately, I would say we still have a long way to go for the cycle. We have a lot of milestones to get through. But at the end of the day, we were ahead of schedule back in April. We said let's calm down for a bit. You know, I'm a little bit more comfortable where we are now. I mean, if we were to overlay the cycle ROI, just to get, I mean, I don't know why we're gonna do this. No one really wants to talk about this right now, anyways. But we'll just put it on there just to have it as a point of discussion because I'm not nearly as I'm not going to be as annoying, I guess, with the we're ahead of schedule stuff. Okay, because now we're not. So that's cycle one. I don't know why I'm doing this on the daily time frame. I do it on the weekly. So that's cycle one, and then cycle two is here. So that's cycle two, and then cycle three. Okay, so here we are, right? I mean, when we were over here, it felt a little bit uncomfortable. Feels a little bit more comfortable now. I mean, it's not to say we have to immediately go up, but at least it feels a little bit more comfortable now that we're no longer ahead of the last cycle's ROI. Um, in fact, if we were at the last cycle's ROI, it would mean the price of Bitcoin should already be $82,000. So we're significantly below it, which again, I mean, it makes sense, right? It makes sense that this is the case. Um, so I think it'll be a little bit more comfortable now. If we do end up heading up and putting in new all-time highs, it will feel a little bit more natural than I think it would have had we continued along this path, putting in non-diminishing returns and whatnot. So it looks like so far it seems like a more natural path for us to be on. But again, we still have a long way to go. I wouldn't schedule a Forbes interview just yet. We still need to break 40K. We still need to give up the 21-week EMA, which we actually did have a wick above. I mean, if we go look at the bull market support band, we had a wick above the 21-week EMA, in fact. So I know some of you have Forbes on the line. I think we have a lot of work to do before you schedule your interview. Let's see. Let's go to some of the daily. Let's go to some of the daily moving averages. Okay. So some of the daily moving averages, the 20-day, obviously we're above that. We're above the 50-day, above the 100-day. No, we're not above the 100-day. The 100-day is at 40.8K. Okay, that's at 40.8K, still a ways to go. The 200-day is at 44.6 or 44.7K. That still has a ways to go as well. So again, maybe we go up soon. I mean, maybe we go up soon and start tackling these areas. I would be happy if that happens, right? Be happy if that happens, and just assume that we have a lot of work to do to put in new all-time highs. I mean, I do think we will put in new all-time highs this market cycle. I'm certainly not of the camp. I'm not of the camp that the cycle is over by any stretch of the imagination. I just want us to tackle these to tackle these milestones one at a time, and then eventually we'll come out the other side and we can put in new all-time highs. But note that could still be a while. I would not expect us to go up to the ROI of last cycle. So I would not expect that, because it would imply going to like, over 300K this cycle, which I sincerely doubt. And in order to do that on track with the last cycle, we would need to do it. Let's see, what is this? Let me get the date. We would need to do it in about 106 days, right? 106 days as measured from market cycle bottom. I don't really see us going to 300K in 100 days. So I probably could roll that out. All right, let's see. It looks like our little corridor has held up, right? Let me leave this one on. Let me leave those on. I mean, it looks like so far it's held up fine. The last looks like we had a test at 30K. I mean, we've tested it a few times here. The most recent one being at around 29.5. So we've cleared it for now. It's going to keep going down though. I mean, now it's all the way down to 28.1. So in order for us to test it again, we'd have to go down to 28.1. So I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but you can see that we at least did hold it during our little excursions down below 30K. Let's see where we are on some other indicators. Let's actually look at the regression bands, because those are always fun. I mean, we're still in no man's land, right? We're still in sort of the intermediate region, like 2013, right? Like 2013, we're sort of in that intermediate region. There's no guarantees that we go back down here. There's obviously no guarantees that we go back over here. When we're in this region, it always seems obvious that we're going to go up, and when we're in this region, it always seems obvious that we're going to go down. But when we're in sort of the middle, it's always hard to know exactly which way we're going to go. So now, at least things are relatively bullish. If you're curious, right? In order for us to re-enter our logarithmic regression band to the upside, we would need to go to 68,482 or 68,483. So if we go to 68,483, we would be back in the regression band, which would put in a new all-time high to get there. The upper part of the regression band is now $101,103. Okay, so it's above 100K. We did a video a week ago or so saying, hey, we're above 100K with regards to the upper regression band. Now it's moved up even further than that. It's at $101,000. So again, I think the peak of the cycle will probably be between 1 to 200K. I know there's more lofty projections for a 300K. I'm skeptical about that. I would say 1 to 200. That's probably when I'll leave the market, and I'll leave the 300 stuff for the more aggressive investors that really want to squeeze it out, because I don't know that I can make it that far. But if you want to try, go for it, and I'll root you on from the sidelines. But I would say 1 to 200K is probably the more conservative area. Be on the lookout though for, we're not out of the woods by any means. Be on the lookout for, for retests and whatnot. We had the bounce off the 50 week. We've had bounces off the 50 week in the past, so be aware of that. Otherwise, altcoins are, Ethereum, obviously Ethereum is moving up slightly. We're at 2306. So, Ethereum has now gone down to 1,700 a few times. It's right now at 2,300. We were at 2,300 back at the the beginning of July. So now we're at the end of July. We're back to where we were at the beginning. We also were at this level in the middle of June. So again, I would not expect any new all-time highs for Ethereum immediately. I think we have a long way to go there, and I would probably expect Bitcoin to put in new all-time highs before Ethereum does, if in fact that is the route we're going to take. But let's just talk about questions. Do you guys have any questions? What questions do you have? I will see incredible W. Yeah, that is a nice W on the Ethereum chart. Yeah, I think if you've lived through enough of these moves, you always know to be skeptical, right? You always know to be skeptical. I prefer to be, skeptical about everything and then be pleasantly surprised. Always be skeptical. Always raise your eyebrow. Stick to your strategy, right? Remember, when things are bearish, that's the time to load up. When things are super bullish, that's the time to DCA out. So if you've been DCAing for a while and you're seeing this move, just be concerned. I mean, just be skeptical. Be happy that your portfolio is increasing. But if you're gonna go leverage trade, I would say that's not a wise idea. It's just the opportunity cost of like losing your Bitcoin is really so high, because I mean, like, if Bitcoin goes to like 150K and you lose a Bitcoin trading, then the opportunity cost is so high. So I wouldn't go do that, right? I would just say, stick to your plan. If you're DCAing Bitcoin while it's below the 20-week, just stick to your plan, and hopefully good things will continue to happen. Let's see what questions we have. What about ADA? ADA's at 132, so it's deviated slightly from its $1.20 stablecoin status area, but I mean, it still hasn't done anything too remarkable. In comparison to the 2013 cycle, how closely are we following along? Well, we've talked about that. I mean, again, I think we're doing very similar things to 2013. Like, I would expect a double peak cycle. I mean, hell, we may even have a triple peak cycle. I mean, I know that sounds crazy. Sometimes I've thought about it a lot over the last several years, and we've always talked about the idea of having a double peak cycle, right? Ever since that move by Bitcoin where it went crazy to 64K, and even in January when it was moving up quickly, we talked about the possibilities of a double peak cycle. And I think there's a good chance. I mean, as I said back then, I think there's a really good chance we're going to have a double peak cycle. I just think it's stretched out much further than the 2013 cycle. Again, if we were copying 2013, the first peak would have happened in June of 2020, and the second peak would have happened in January 2021. So we're already well beyond where the 2013 cycle would be. So it's basically like a stretched out version. Right, we're essentially like a stretched out version of it. To show you what I mean, it doesn't really look that great to stretch it out. But if I'm just sort of like vaguely showing you what I mean by like a stretched out version of it, like if you were to like take this move and then maybe overlay it here, and then like sort of like account for the diminishing returns, and you can kind of see it, right? You can kind of see it. Oh, like there it is, sort of, right? That's what I mean, right? That's what I mean. So I wouldn't expect this thing. Like, I wouldn't expect us to go to 400K by December, but I would expect it to again be like a stretched out version. So just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind for the cycle, and be prepared. To wait long. I mean, if it happens by December or something, then great, right? If we go to six figures by December, great. But be prepared for it to take longer, right? Be prepared for it to take longer. And if it does, that's fine. That's fine. I don't think that's a big deal. What other questions? Red day tomorrow, maybe. Let's see. This will be our 6th day in a row of going up, assuming this closes green, right? I mean, unless we come back down to 35K or something, this will close green, so that'll be 6 days in a row. Someone says I can buy some furniture for the empty room. We can't afford that, right? Think about the opportunity cost. My bedroom is literally a single mattress. There's literally no furniture in the bedroom except a mattress that's on the ground, right? It's not even a mattress on like a nice frame. It's literally like a single mattress on the ground. It's hard navigating crypto, right? That's what happens when you buy the dip, I guess, a few too many times. Someone says 40K tonight. We actually already came relatively close to 40K. I mean, I think we almost hit it. Like here we came 39,850. I mean, for all intents and purposes, we basically already hit 40K. Do you think we could see a small pullback to 36? Yeah, of course we can see pullbacks. Are they going to happen tomorrow? I have no idea. But yeah, I mean, of course you're going to get pulled. I mean, even over here, you know, you'd have pullbacks that would go back a few, you know, a couple $1,000s occasionally. So yeah, I mean, you'll have pullbacks even if we keep going up. Remember to keep an eye though on our bull market support band. We've been talking about this for 2.5 months now, right? So this we've been talking about here with these moving averages coming down. So we got to keep an eye on those things because now we're actually flirting with them. So now they become relevant, right? Everyone over here is like, well, they're so far. Now we're actually flirting with them. So let's see what happens. Oh, like sort of like drawing a little duck or something. But we're flirting with it. We're actually the 21-week EMA is at 39.3, which is only $1,000 higher than where we are, and we actually already had a wick into it. Yeah, William says we're still just playing in the sandbox. I would agree. I mean, as crazy as this move was, like, I agree. This was a crazy move. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if the momentum takes us higher. You know, as we said, we already had the breakdown in the daily RSI trend. So let's go look at that. So a couple days ago, you know, we just noticed that this finally broke, right? That finally broke. And it seems somewhat bullish. We noticed that our downtrend broke, and at this point, while I would contend that we'll likely have some pullbacks. Like I wouldn't be surprised to see us rally, you know, up to the 20-week. I mean, we know it's a possibility. We've talked about a relief rally forever. I think the main test comes when we get there. Whenever we get to the 20-week, that's the test, right? Can we actually get above it or not? That's the big test. Until then, as crazy as this move was, right? As crazy as it was, we're still playing in the sandbox. I mean, we're still less than 40K. You know, so I mean, until that changes, until we're back above the bull market support band, yeah, I would agree with you. I would say we're playing in the sandbox, right? Maybe we're in a little nicer, we got a nicer sandbox to play in, but we're still playing in the sandbox. What other questions do we have? By the way, remember to subscribe to the channel if you like the content. Give the video a thumbs up. We also do have the sale on the premium list still going on, so make sure to check that out. You can find that in the description below. Lock in the low rate if you want to know how I'm navigating these markets. We put out weekly reports and videos, Telegram alerts channel, the risk dashboard, and more, so check that out. Let's see what other questions we have. Someone says it's not a real move until Dave says it's not a real move until Coinbase crashes. Yeah, our new sandbox has a nice sand castle for us to play with. The one before didn't, but now we actually have nicer toys in the sandbox. But yeah, we're still in the sandbox. Look, I know a lot of people are super bullish. Like I want us to, you know, I would love for everyone to make a ton of money and for us to just go up. Again, I think there's a lot of momentum. Like I'm pretty conservative, as you guys know. Obviously, a test of the 20-week is potentially in the cards here. Just don't get super. Don't think it has to put in new all-time highs immediately. Like we have a major test coming up. Best case scenario is that Bitcoin just keeps going up for a few days. If that happens, we have a big test coming up. Okay. You know, we call it the bull market support band, but when we're below it, it's really the bear market resistance band. So a big test is coming up if this rally continues. And when we test it, we need to get above it, okay? When we get above it, ideally, it doesn't feel good to say it at the time. Like if we get above it, I'm gonna say, all right, now that we're above it, let's go back down and test it as support and confirm it as support. And then we can say, all right, like, you know, locked and loaded, let's go. Until then, there's still is always reason to be skeptical. Always reason to be skeptical. I think that if you subscribe to the either my cycle theory of lengthening cycles or the Fourier cycle theory, which is more optimistic in terms of the timeline, it doesn't really matter, right? It doesn't really matter if it happens immediately and we go above it and continue on, or if we go get rejected, come back down, and then go back up and continue on. like whatever it ends up being, it's somewhat irrelevant. But that'll be the big test, right? That'll be the big test. No, I wouldn't schedule Forbes. I wouldn't schedule Forbes yet. Yeah, remember, every cycle will be different, okay? I've said this all along. Every cycle will be different. The main reason to hold your horses, and again, I say this with the conviction that I think Bitcoin is going to go to six figures this cycle. Okay, that's my conviction. I think it'll go to six figures this cycle. I also have to point out too that we've seen bounces off the 50 week, right? We've seen bounces off the 50 week many times, and they were 40 or 50% moves. I mean, how this one was like a 60% move or 70% move or something. So that's why I say it, and that's why we have to keep an eye on it. Because if you just assume we're going to get above the bull market support band and immediately put in new all-time highs, you could be mistaken. This one went above the bull market support band, but we didn't hold it as support when we came back down. That's the reason I'm saying, hey guys, like, this is great, right? This is a great move right here. And it's certainly what we need for us to get back on track. I mean, I said a 3 to 6 month bear market. If we end up getting back above it now, it'll be on the shorter end of that. But we got to get above it, and we got to hold it as support. So again, we have a really long way to go before. I mean, I know some people want to just YOLO the family farm, but don't bet the family farm. Be practical, and then just stick to whatever strategy you're doing. Someone says Bitcoin will go to 8 figures. Not in our lifetimes, I don't think. I think that I think it'll go to 7 figures in my lifetime. I think it'll go to 7 figures, but probably not in this decade. Honestly, like I feel like it might do it in the 2030s, but probably not in the 2020s. But yeah, I mean, I could get on board with a $1 million Bitcoin next decade. When is the end of this cycle? Well, I mean, it's hard to know exactly when the end of the cycle is until it actually comes in. I mean, you basically guess when you think it is based on whatever cycle theory you subscribe to. I think it'll probably not be in 2021. As I've said this whole year, like, I mean, we're going to be flexible on that. I mean, if we go to 150K this year, all right, it happens in 2021. But I would say be somewhat open-minded that it might not be 2021. I mean, it could go on well into 2022 easily. I feel like easily we could go into 2022. No, I wouldn't get out of bed for it. I mean, if you didn't get out of bed for it when it went to 41K back in mid-June, I don't know that it's worth getting out of bed at this point. I think I mean, we need to test that. I mean, we need to test that is the main thing. And maybe we'll test it sooner rather than later. What signifies the end of the cycle? Well, I'd probably say if we're unable to put in all-time highs for, a few years, that would signify the peak of a cycle. Yeah, I mean, this is just sort of a joke indicator, honestly. Like I don't want to pretend like you should take this one to the bank because I don't think you should. I coded it over here just to get an idea of some theoretical upper and lower bounds for Bitcoin, and we'll just continue to see how it does. If you're curious, it currently has the upper bound's actually falling down right now, but it actually has the upper bound at 110,000. Almost 111,000 is where the upper bound is on our little corridor here. Do I think stock to flow is invalidated? I've said all along. I mean, I'm not gonna, I don't claim. I'm not gonna claim to invalidate or validate the stock to flow model. I mean, do I think it'll hold up forever? No, because otherwise it would mean Bitcoin goes to like $1 billion in like just a few cycles. But I think he would also agree that it's not going to hold up forever as well. So, I mean, I think time will tell. I don't think we're going to go to 300K this cycle, but maybe 150K. Scott says Ethereum is underperforming. Ethereum was at 2.5K the last time Bitcoin was at 38K. I mean, makes sense to me. Remember, Bitcoin's likely putting in new all-time highs before Ethereum does. Honestly, people keep asking me what I think about the news. I don't even know what the news is. I haven't looked at the news. I can try to Google the news, but I haven't even looked at the news. I mean, yeah, I saw that. I mean, I saw that Amazon is going to accept Bitcoin payments, but I saw that. I didn't know if there's anything other than that. Is there any other news besides that? I mean, I saw that like 12 hours ago, but I didn't know if there was any news in the last like 2 hours or something. I mean, unless Elon tweeted or something, like, I don't know. Let's let's zoom in here. Let's look at the 1 minute chart and see what happened. Look at that. Look at this. 34 from 34K to like 40K in like an hour or two. I mean, this move. I mean, we went from like 36 to like 40K almost in like 10 minutes. It was insane. Maybe like 5 minutes. Maybe like between 5 and 10 minutes. I was watching it live. It was ridiculous. It was absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, and I bet a lot of shorts got liquidated. You can, I mean, if you just go, I mean, I know a lot of shorts did get liquidated. But look at all the short. I mean, a lot of the shorts are getting wiped out. Which, I mean, honestly, to me, as far as I'm concerned, it serves them right. Like, I don't feel like you should be leverage trading, right? I would never encourage you to go leverage trade, especially if you're betting against Bitcoin. I mean, that just seems really, really irresponsible. I would strongly discourage you from leverage trading. I mean, I think my guess is it's to some degree, at the very, very least, whether the rally is sustained or not, we are experiencing some type of short squeeze. Tons of shorts got liquidated basically back to back to back to back before people really had time to react. So maybe it's a short squeeze. That's one scenario, is that it's a short squeeze. I mean, I think that is what's happening. What comes after that is still up for debate. Some people are saying Michael Barrett, he got liquidated. I mean, that's fine. The guy that I think he was the main guy who called the he's actually been on a he was the main guy that was talking about the housing crash, but I think he was also one of the guys who went long on GameStop, I believe, and was on the right side of that trade. And so then now he was, I think he was short on Bitcoin. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's like we're all sitting here over here thinking like Bitcoin's probably going to go to six figures this cycle. So again, if you're shorting Bitcoin, I mean, even if you think price is going to go down, like I don't think it makes. Even if you think price is going to go down, I don't think it makes sense to short it because you just have to recognize it. It can always go up before it goes down, and then you get liquidated. Yeah, I know he's short on Tesla too. I know he's short on Tesla. Which I mean, honestly, with Tesla, with him being short on Tesla, like I sort of understood it, right? I mean, I actually this. Let me not. I don't want to go to this one. Let me go to this is the crypto one. Yeah, like I can at least understand that one a little bit more. Um, I mean, Tesla. Yeah, I can understand a little bit more being short on Tesla. Not that I would encourage anyone to short. I think leverage trading is super risky, but I'm talking about for him, I can understand shorting Tesla. Um, not as much Bitcoin. I'm just gonna quickly look at. I see people claiming a lot of things, and I don't like to repeat those things unless I actually see that they happened. Yeah. Do I think we can go back to 33K? Yeah, I mean anything's possible, right? If we went to 41K back in June and then we went down to 29K, we could obviously go back to 33K. Anything's possible. Yeah, I think there's a lot of rumors flying around right now, which is somewhat unfortunate because then they get in the news. They get everywhere in the news, and then you don't really know what's accurate because if it all started from a rumor, then you really have no idea. Probably best just to wait a couple days and see what the actual legit news is. Because I see a lot of people saying the Amazon news is fake. Look, guys, I will say this. I will say this. I think we will put in new all-time highs this cycle. Whether that happens, whether that happens sooner rather than later is irrelevant. We'll be drawing houses. We'll be drawing houses again at some point this cycle. Obviously, this move took a lot of people by surprise. How quickly it went up. I mean, like $5,000 within like an hour or so. Uh, don't be shocked if we come back down for a little while. I mean, we basically just blasted through like $5,000 incredibly quickly. Be cautiously optimistic, maybe be cautiously optimistic, and see where it takes us. Someone says they can't trust me anymore without Twilight Imperium in the background. Actually, it's in that closet over there. Um, yeah, so it's in that closet over in that door. It's in that closet. Yeah, I'll check the futures. Hold on. Sorry, I'm trying to like go through the comments here. Dubiously large room. someone says, Ben, you said I was a. You have to understand that the definition of that, of it being bearish, is being below the 20-week SMA, which we are still below. Okay, so this is the definition I operate under. I'm not getting out of bed for a $38,000 or $39,000 Bitcoin, right? We still have a long way to go before we're back in this type of territory, right? We still have a long way to go. I mean, it might come sooner rather than later, but we're still not there yet. And I said the same thing, right? I said the same thing when we were at 41K just about a month and a half ago. I said the same thing, and at that time we were at a higher price than we are now. So I would not assume that we have to see new all-time highs immediately. I would say that we have a lot of momentum right now, and it could take us back to the 20-week. And if we get there, we need to test it as support and see what happens after that. But until then, there's still plenty of reason to be cautious. Why is the room so empty? It's not that empty. There's a box on the ground over there. See that box? And then there's a door over there with some boxes inside. Someone says they can't wait to hear me sound bullish. Look, I defined it as well as I could back when it fell below the 20-week, right? When we fell below this, I said technically Bitcoin is bearish. Technically speaking, Bitcoin is in a bear market. As far as I'm concerned, when we fell below the 20-week SMA. By the way, we fell below it at $48,000. And now you have people telling me that now that it's at $38,000, it's like, oh, what's he saying? Now it's at $38,000. But again, it was technically a bear market when we went below 48K as far as I'm concerned. Again, if you want to define a bear market as having to be 2 years of prices going down, then yeah, I mean, I don't think that's going to happen. I said 3 to 6 months, right? 3 to 6 months of things being bearish. 3 to 6 months. And so far, let's see how long it's been. It's been 11 weeks. So we're coming up on the 3-month mark. So the 3-month mark would probably be the lower bound, okay? So I would say a 3 to 6 month phase where the market is bearish, 3 to 6 months, below the 20-week SMA. I would say this is the lower bound. So the lower bound would essentially be just breaking it, okay? The lower bound would essentially just be breaking it, and then we just start it immediately. The upper bound would add another 3 months. Okay, the upper bound would add another 3 months, and what that would maybe mean coming up and then just getting rejected by it, and then having to fight it off later. Okay, so those are the bounds I've given, 3 to 6 months. It's now been 11 weeks. We're coming up on the lower bound of that range, but we still haven't. Bitcoin still has a lot to prove, I think. Let's see, Ether, Bitcoin. It's been coming down the last couple of days. Shorts, looks like shorts are still getting somewhat wrecked here. How long is the bear market usually? Well, it depends on, there's different types of bear markets, right? There's bear markets which follow market cycle tops, and then there's bear markets which follow, say, like intermediate rallies, right? So like, I don't think we're in like a 2-year bear market. I think, as I said back in May, I think we're entering a 3 to 6 month bear market. So again, like the length of the bear market, I think depends on where you are in the cycle. Because I don't think we're at the cycle peak, I don't think it's going to be like a 2-year bear market. Because I think we're at an intermediate peak in the cycle, that's why I said 3 to 6 months rather than like 1 to 2 years. I think, if Bitcoin goes to like 150K, then I would say, okay, guys, I think we're coming up on a bear market, and I think it's going to last probably at least a year. But we're not there yet, right? We need to go up another like 4x or something, 4 to 5x, for me to start saying that. So we have a ways to go before I would say we're coming up on like a 1 to 2 year bear market. The reason I said 3 to 6 months was because I think it's an intermediate top, not a market cycle top. It's going to be crazy. I mean, it's going to be crazy if how, I think the next week is going to be somewhat crazy because of the volatility, probably both to the upside and the downside, to be completely honest. Like, probably not just to the upside, but also the downside, because if the momentum in the short term keeps carrying us up, then there's going to be some pullbacks at some points where people take profits. So I feel like the volatility over the next week or two is going to be quite significant. No, I don't. I certainly do not get everything right. I don't claim to get everything right. I'm curious, who was here? Who was here for my infamous XRP buy? I literally bought XRP like one day before the SEC news. That's probably the worst. It's my fault, right? It's my fault for buying XRP, so I don't expect any sympathy. But I certainly don't get everything right. That's for sure. 'Cause if I knew XRP was basically going to crash, fall 60-70% or something, I certainly wouldn't have bought it. I know some of you guys were here. I certainly don't claim to get everything right. That was definitely something I did not get right. It was pretty bad. I mean, like I literally bought XRP, and I bought it at I remember exactly what happened. I bought it at 53 cents. And then like the next day, I saw the SEC news, and I was like, oh shit, but I didn't sell it. I still haven't sold it, right? I mean, it goes to show you how much of a schmuck I am. Like I bought it at 53 cents. It then crashed. I bought it again at 36 or 37 cents. And then it went to 20 cents. And then, I haven't touched it since, right? So my average buy on it, I think, is like 40 something cents. Right now it's trading at 65 cents. But I mean, at the time it went down to 20 cents. So there's a huge opportunity cost on that trade. Not a good trade. Not a good trade by any stretch of the imagination. And it won't be the last bad trade I make, as well. I'm sure. Can I do a Sharpe ratio that accounts for M2? What do you mean though? I mean, like it's the money supply is just going to affect all the cryptos. I don't think it's going to affect them in a consequential way to where it would come out with different portfolio weights. So I don't really know what you mean. By the way, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel if you like the content. Definitely subscribe and give the video a thumbs up. Let's go for 500,000 subscribers. We've been sitting at like 480s for a long time now. Let's try to get to 500,000 subscribers. And remember to check out the sale on the premium list if you want to lock in the low rate on the subscription. We'll keep it going for a little while longer. Let's see. Someone says Bitcoin will 15x from here. No, I don't think so. I don't think this. I mean, I think it will 15x from here, but I don't think it'll do a 15x this cycle. I mean, a 15x. I mean, a 10x would put us at like 380, which is already getting kind of ridiculous. Someone says that you're in profit now. Why still hold? And they're coming from an XRP super fan. Basically because I mean, it was basically delisted from the exchanges I use, anyways, and also, honestly, the reason why I haven't sold it yet is because I think it will do well later this cycle. So that's the reason why. By the way, if you guys follow someone on Instagram and you think it's me, it's not me. Okay, I don't have an Instagram, so I know there's some people that are like they think they're following me on Instagram because someone's pretending to be me, but just know that if you see an Instagram account and you think it's me, it's not me. I don't have an Instagram. I don't touch that stuff. All right, what other questions? What software is this? This is TradingView. No, I don't touch Snapchat either. So no Snapchat, no Instagram. I feel like to some of you you're like, "Oh crap, I thought he had that." No, I don't have any of that. Well, it'll be certainly interesting to see what Bitcoin does here over the next couple of days. If we actually rally to the 20-week or not. We will in fact see. Let's see where we are. We're still below the bull market support band, but we're getting close to it. We're getting close to it. By the way, if we print a weekly close that is above the 21-week EMA, then this will flip back. This will flip back to green. Okay, so this will flip green if we go above the 21-week EMA and actually have a weekly close above it. I don't mean just a wick. I mean a weekly close above it. What is the square root of 16? 4. What is this? Math trivia. All right. What else you guys want to do? I mean, the price isn't doing anything. I mean, as much as it made a move earlier, it hasn't really made much of a move since we've been on the stream. It's been going sideways here, so we'll see. I don't know what it's gonna do, but I mean, right now the momentum's up. Right now the momentum's up. You guys want me to play chess? If you challenge me on chess.com, I'll play you. My username is BJ Cowan. All right, we're at 38.1. We're sort of, I mean, honestly, it's kind of nice that we're just sort of chilling at 38K now. Ether Bitcoin 0.604. Ten-year price prediction for ADA? Gosh, I don't know. I mean, I think it'll probably go somewhere around $10 this, within the next 2 years, I would say. Probably around $10 within 2 years is my guess. I don't know about 10 years. If you guys want to challenge me, you can challenge me. Here my username is. Let me switch this back over. No one's challenged me yet. I don't know. I don't see any challenges here. Are people challenging me? Oh, maybe they are. How do I see them? Are these? Oh no, this is that's not a Blitz game. No, someone challenged me in a Blitz game. Someone says it won't let me, or it won't let them. Is there a way to incoming? Yeah, no, it should let you challenge me. You might need to change your settings. I don't see any challenges though. It says I'm not accepting challenges. How do I change that? Allow challenges, everybody. All right, it should work now. Now people, oh, there they come. Let's do 3-minute games, guys. I'm not playing 20-minute games. I don't know what you guys think this is. Chats Bay 7. We'll keep an eye on Bitcoin. Don't worry, it's not going anywhere. It's the 38.1. Bitcoin's at 38.1 still. We'll keep an eye on it if that changes, but it's not done anything yet. I don't know what I'm doing, honestly. Bitcoin's still 38.1. You guys can watch chess for a few minutes, right? It's not gone anywhere. Look, I promise you. My time's gonna run out if I don't pay attention though, so I gotta pay attention. We can go over to the 1 minute. Look, still sideways. I'm forking the queen and bishop here, so he's got to take that. Well, actually, I can go here. A little intermediate. I think that works because now I forked the queen and the rook rather than taking the bishop. All right. I'll take that. I gotta do the check, I guess. He's gonna take that though, so I gotta move the rook. I feel like this has gotta work somehow, but I don't really have time to calculate it. I mean, he could have just taken it, but I mean, I think I'm winning anyways, so. I have to be careful because he's got that. I can always come back. Checkmate. Good game. All right. Let's see. What's Bitcoin doing? We're still at 38. Nothing's changed. Does anyone else want to play? Looks like people do want to play. All right. Look at this username. Ada is hype. Alright, we'll play this guy. Ada is hype. I accept your challenge. Ada is hype. Alright, what are we doing? Am I lagging or something? Is it my move? Whoops. For some reason I thought it was their move. Bitcoin still 38.1. We got nothing but time. Nothing but time. push. Okay. Let's go here. And here. And there. The queen has to keep moving. And I mean, I can't. I mean, if I push, then he takes, then I just take back. And then he takes and takes, and then the queen takes, and then I don't do anything. Maybe I'll just attack the queen again. He's probably going to move the bishop. We'll do that. Which looks fine. Probably going to lose on time. All right, we'll take. And then I'll take, and I win the rook. Okay, now I'm happy to trade. All right, so we're up the rook for the knight. So I'll just move everything to the center and hopefully have an easy win. I think this should be a pretty easy win as long as I don't lose on time. All right, they resign. Good game. Yeah, the problem is that, like, you know, all I have to do is I have to just whatever he does. Like, I don't know what he's gonna do. What's he gonna do? Maybe he moves this, so he's not getting a back rank. I can go here. The problem is he just doesn't take, and then if I take, then he takes back. So I don't do that. What I do is I maybe double up here. So then, you know, like I don't know what he's gonna do, but if I do this, then I can sacrifice that, because if I take, he takes, then I get the queen, and then he goes here, and I can somehow come in with the checkmate because I have two queens. All right, let's see. Bitcoin's still at 38K, so nothing has really changed. All right, does anyone want to play? Sorry, I feel like some of these people are really Doodle Cat. Yeah, it's not a move you really see here that much. I go here. Yeah, see, this is not good, because now I take this. You might say, well, you're losing the knight. Oh no. No, 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 I'm getting the rook. Yeah. Let me go here actually, and just sacrifice a pawn. And they have to take it. Like, they have to take it. They have to take that pawn. If they don't take that pawn, they're in trouble. So if you're listening to this stream and you're playing me, you have to take it. But you should not have taken it with the knight. You should have taken it with the pawn, because now I just take here. Because the knight was guarding the other knight. So you should not have taken it with the knight. All right. Yeah, I think I'll just go here. So now I'm threatening that. Queen here is probably the only move. Nothing else. I mean, everything else loses immediately. So I think you have to go, yeah, you have to go there. Yeah, we'll just trade. Yeah, I kind of want to castle queenside and just push these pawns to glory. Push. Guess I'll take. I can actually go here. And he can't take because he's pinned. So we'll take that. Don't worry, Bitcoin's still at 38K, so hasn't done anything. I'm gonna just fix that structure. All right, they resign. Good game. All right, let's see. We're still chilling sideways at 38K. Nothing's really changed. Someone says Bitcoin past 40K. I don't think so. Yeah, while I was playing chess, Bitcoin went to 150K and back down, and the market cycle peak is in, right? Is that what happened? All right, you guys want to wrap it up there? There's no need to go. All right, guys, why don't we wrap it up there? Make sure you guys subscribe if you're not. Give the video a thumbs up. We have the sale on the premium list. Make sure you guys check that out. If you want to lock and load rate, you can get access to the premium content and you can keep it. So from there, we'll wrap it up. Thank you guys for tuning in. Subscribe, click the bell icon, turn on notifications. I'll see you next time.